Okay guys, let's go ahead and look at the lesson. So today we're talking about the other two functions, sine, and we'll also talk about cosine. So I looked at this triangle, and what I know in this triangle is my angle's here, and so then my opposite side is over here at the 6. My hypotenuse is where x is, because I want to find AC, and here's my adjacent, but I don't need to know my adjacent. So if I look at what I want, opposite and hypotenuse, it turns out that that's sine. Sine is equal to the opposite side of the hypotenuse, so I set it up. So sine of theta, and theta is my angle, 4 degrees, is equal to the opposite side, which is the 6, over the hypotenuse, which is x. So I just need to solve. So cross multiply, bring the x up, multiply both sides by x, and then I divided by sine of 34. So anytime the variable's on the bottom, you just really kind of switch places with them. I use my calculator, check my mode. Always check your mode, because right now, man, my pre-calc kids are using radian mode. So check my mode, and then it's good. So then I'm going to go straight to just doing that. I'm going to go 6 divided by the sine of 34, and I get an answer, about 10.7. Boom. Okay, I like that. So then we looked at the next example. In this example, same thing. We want to find IG, which is here. Go to the angle. That's my opposite side, my hypotenuse, and my adjacent. Okay, so that's cosine. Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, because what I want to do is find the adjacent, and I know the hypotenuse. So I set it up. Cosine of theta, cosine of 40, is equal to my adjacent side, which is my x, over my hypotenuse, which is my 12. And I just multiply by 12, and I just use my calculator. To do that, I went 12 times the cosine of 40 degrees, because I multiplied, and I got about 9.2. Okay, not bad. So now we have all three trig ratios. Okay, so on the other side, so well, let's use all these ratios. Let's go ahead and take a look at triangle ABC, and let's figure out and solve ABC. So the first thing we did is the easy stuff. I know if I've got 38 degrees here, then I can find angle B. These two angles have to add up to 90. So I just subtracted from 90 and got 52 degrees here. Okay, good. Now I said, well, I either got to find this side or this side, doesn't really matter. So we chose to find this side first. From the 38 degrees, opposite hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse, we recognize that had to be sine. So we use sine of theta equals my opposite over my hypotenuse. Okay, because that's what I want to do. I don't care about the adjacent yet. Opposite hypotenuse is sine. So my opposite was x over my hypotenuse, which is 15. So I got sine of 38 is equal to my x over 15. I multiply by 15 to solve. I use my calculator, and I had 15 times the sine of 38, and I got an answer of about 9.2. Well, then we could have used, if we have 9.2 here, we could use Pythagorean's theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, but it's actually faster and easier to use cosine, because if I want to find the adjacent and I have the hypotenuse, we'll just use cosine, because we know that cosine of theta is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. In this case, my adjacent side is y, my hypotenuse is 15, multiplied by 15 to solve for y, use my calculator, and I got about 11.8. Okay. All right, now finally we had a problem that talked about the area of a triangle. Well, the area of a triangle is 1/2 its base, which we didn't know at all, times its height, which we didn't know at all. So we tackled this problem by making this triangle, cut it right in half, and made a right triangle. So we need a right triangle. We knew if we cut this angle in half, we'd have 22 degrees, 44 to 22. Again, I'm looking at the blue triangle. So the blue triangle, I needed this base. Okay, so what I did is opposite over hypotenuse, I use sine. So it's sine of 22 is equal to opposite, which is we call b for base, over 18, because that's my hypotenuse. Okay. So then to solve, I multiply by 18, multiply by 18. I used my calculator, and I got this side to be about 6.7. Okay, when I multiplied that. So 6.7, the whole thing, 6.7, 6.7, the base of the triangle is 13.4. All right, good. I got the base. I needed the height. So to get the height, I just used cosine, because I've got from my angle, again, I'm using the blue right triangle, adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse gives me the height of the triangle. My adjacent, I don't know, I called it h. My hypotenuse is 18. Multiplied both sides by 18. I got the height to be 16.7. when I use my calculator. So again, area of return is 1/2 base. I found the base times the height, and then I went ahead and just used my calculator and got the answer to 111.9. Okay, that's all I have. If you want to come and ask me any questions, you can. I'm so busy, I got to come in the mornings and do my recording, huh?